Okay.
Okay, so we're at the NACO Summit. You actually invested in this event. What made you decide that you wanted to sponsor it?
Well, we really like NACO. We really like what they're trying to do. We think that the angel investment community is a real powerhouse and engine for innovation in Canada.
Yeah.
And we work with Canadian startups that are producing healthier, better, more sustainable products. And we really need the angel investment community to be around them. So we thought, what better place to be than here at NACO?
I love that. So you're in that space. I actually saw one idea was the vertical farming. Things like that are so amazing to me. What is something that just stands out to you in this world?
Oh, where to start?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
There are a lot.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I love talking about is the plastics that are made not like regular plastic. They're made from plants or seaweed or pulp and paper waste. So they will break down in the soil instead of living there for thousands of years like regular plastics do. So I love that space because we have so much packaging in our world that we really can't get away from it. We can't really get away from plastics anywhere. And so if we can create these more sustainable ones that are better for the planet, I get really excited about that.
Yeah.
But we also have a lot that are in the food space, so creating healthier and more sustainable versions of food, particularly around protein. You know, with our growing population, we need to create, I think it's more food in the next 50 years than we have in the last 1,000 years. So being able to do that without putting too much strain on the planet is really important. So we have a lot of companies that are working on creating proteins, which is such a vital component to our diet, but creating proteins that are less harmful and taking less resources from the planet. So we've got some here today, like Whiteboard Foods is one of them.
Yeah.
We've got another one called Enhanced Medical Nutrition. They're focused completely on nutrition that is sustainable, but specifically targeted to people who are going in for surgery, like a knee replacement or hip replacement. We've got this older population that is having that done a lot more now.
Yeah.
And they've got a formula specifically for that. So it's really great.
It's interesting with investors because, you know, often you look at ideas and founders and you're paying attention to the data, the analytics, you're paying attention to the brilliant idea, but when you're an investor in a space that is really more about the cause and the effect of what they can do, how much does that change the style in which you invest? Because now you're personally very passionate about the solution.
Yeah, it's a great question. And I was just talking about that this morning, that somehow we've managed to find a really interesting balance between acting like investors and thinking like investors ourselves, but also being very helpful and supportive to the companies because we really believe in them. So it's that purpose and profit. We want to invest in companies that have really sound technology that will actually make a difference. But with that, it has to have a market and a consumer base that is going to be interested in buying it. Luckily, industry and consumers and governments are seeing that we really need to start investing in these companies and we need to start having more products that are going to be better alternatives than what we have on the marketplace.
Yeah.
And so it's easier for us to find these companies that have amazing technology, amazing product, and we can help them with the other parts of it to make sure that it becomes a profitable company that an investor wants to see.
Yeah. Have you seen a situation where a founder and a founder's team may have an idea that is wonderful, but they get in their own way, and it almost makes it difficult to make that idea get executed properly?
Yeah.
Do you see situations like that?
Never. Yes, of course.
I knew that.
Yeah, the founders are really passionate people. They're a different breed, and we need more founders.
Yes.
But yes, you have to be really realistic about who wants your product, who needs your product. If I don't need your product and I don't really want your product, I'm not buying your product. So sometimes it's hard for a founder to see that because they're so in love with their baby. So we really work with them a lot to make sure that they are understanding who is that potential market and what they're really looking for and why, so that they can be shaping the product exactly to what the customer is looking for. And also, we make sure that there's people around them, because a founder can't do everything. They
Yeah.
have a lot of influence, but they are not experts in everything. So we make sure that we bring people around them, including ourselves, to provide the advice and guidance that they need for all of those little decisions that, as you said, could get them in their own way, but helping them with those decisions so that they can make those right choices and help the company move forward.
Yeah, providing that extra mentorship to really guide them the right way. It's been a theme today where, you know, a lot of founders are in love with their idea, but people say it's important to love your idea but not necessarily be in love, because it can kind of blind your decision making. But it's such a fine balance, because you need your founder to be so passionate about the idea that it motivates them and it drives them to solve the problem, but at the same time not so attached to one singular way of doing something that they can't see beyond. Is that something that you notice as well, like that it's so difficult to get people to find that balance? Or do you see that as something like, okay, we see that there's no balance here, I'm going to come in and try to clean it up? Do you get that involved, or?
Yeah, so there's a couple things there. I mean, I think we really look for coachability, and we think that's really important, and it's for any of us, right? If we truly don't think that we need coaching, we're not going to get anywhere, but we really look for coachability in our founders. They need to be able to listen to other points of view. They do not always have to take it, and that is up to them. And one of the things that I think founders face the most that is actually really challenging is too much chatter, too many mentors, too many people telling them, you know, to go different directions. And that's one thing that we're really careful about. We try to make sure that they get the right kind of advice and not too many competing points of view. It's like raising a child. You can get a million different people telling you how to raise your kid. There's no one right way to do it, and you're going to have to pick a lane at one point, and we don't want our founders being surrounded by so many different points of view that they can't, you know, that they basically become paralyzed. So we look for coachability, but then we really make sure that we bring those right resources and mentors around them, and not too many of them.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great talking to you.
Yeah, you know your stuff is really great.
Thank you.